All right, mama, let's talk about the deep core. You know, that mysterious, magical part of your body that everyone tells you to strengthen after having a baby, but no one actually explains how. You've probably seen those Instagram reels that promise you'll get your pre-baby body back in 2 weeks if you just do this one move. Yeah, we all know that's not realistic. Well, today I'm about to bust some common myths about your deep core, and I'm giving you a better way to support it without all of the confusion. So buckle up, mama. Spoiler alert, you don't need to suck in your stomach or do 100 crunches to be strong and confident in your postpartum body. And by the end of this episode, you'll know why the advice you've been getting about your deep core might just be missing the mark. And I'm giving you the real talk on what actually works for postpartum recovery of your deep core. No gimmicks and no unrealistic expectations. So let's dive in.
Postpartum is hard. One second we feel like our bodies are miraculous, and the next we feel like we're a complete mess, out of touch with the strong, confident women we used to be, all while the fitness industry pressures us to bounce back as quickly as possible to a body that never looked like it was pregnant to begin with. That's why, whether we're 3 days postpartum or 3 years postpartum, we need the refreshing truth of gospel-focused fitness to give us energy for the physical challenges of motherhood, peace with our postpartum bodies, and kingdom-centered motivation to train for strength and stamina. So mama, whether you're sipping on cold coffee or folding 5-day-old laundry, I pray by listening every Monday, you become equipped, encouraged, and empowered for a strong motherhood, all for God's glory. This is the Strong After Birth podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, first thing first, why is deep core strength such a big deal after having a baby? Well, because your core isn't just those ab muscles that people talk about, it's about the pelvic floor, diaphragm, and those tiny little muscles of our spine called our multifidus that keep us from feeling like a floppy rag doll. Without that deep core support, things like back pain, pelvic floor dysfunction, leaking, or feeling disconnected from your body can easily become our new norm as moms. So while everybody seems to have an opinion on how to strengthen your core after childbirth, I am here to separate the myths from the reality because, spoiler alert, you don't need a six-pack to be strong. Women and moms need balance, we need to learn alignment, and we need to have a plan that respects our postpartum body. And maybe you've tried the things. Maybe you've gone through a series of core workouts on YouTube that promised you'd get your abs back, but only ended up feeling like your pelvic floor is in a permanent state of shock. Or maybe you've just been told to suck it in all day to activate your core, and you're thinking, isn't that what gave me back pain in the first place? It's okay, mama. You're not alone. You've probably tried to get the flat stomach back or that pre-baby body, but let's be real. That's not the goal here. If you have been following this podcast, if you have been on a body image healing journey, you know that we are here for so much more than just hating our bodies into change. As Molly Galbraith said, who is the instructor for the Girls Gone Strong, which is my pre and postnatal certification, says you can't hate yourself into strength. And honestly, trying to force your core into some ideal shape is just setting you up for frustration. So let's get real about what your core actually needs, and it is more than just a workout. Let's talk about some classic postpartum myths that are actually sabotaging your deep core recovery. These are kind of like the uncles at the family reunion who think they know what's best, but you can't really take their advice too seriously. Myth number 1, crunches are the best way to rebuild your core. Maybe you've seen those Instagram reels of that super fit chick who looks like she might be 18, and it's hard to believe that she actually had kids doing crunches with six-pack abs. The reality is that crunches are the fitness equivalent of throwing spaghetti at a wall and hoping something sticks. But they actually mainly target the superficial ab muscles, not the deep core muscles that actually do the heavy lifting, pun intended. So here is a better way. You need to start with breath work. Yes, I said it. And this is regardless of if you have been training for 6 months or even 6 years postpartum. If you never went through the process of rebuilding your deep core and reconnecting, you might need to start back here. Learn to engage your diaphragm and pelvic floor with breathing exercises. I have said this again, and I was said this before, and I will say it again. It's like giving your core a solid foundation before you add all of the other fun stuff like barbells and kettlebells kettlebells. Think of it like building a house, but starting with the foundation, starting with that plumbing. Myth number 2, you should tighten your core muscles all day long. Here is the reality. Constantly sucking in your stomach is a fast track ticket to hyperactive pelvic floor and burnout. Your body's already been through a lot. You need to let it breathe. In fact, holding on to our breath or breathing shallowly, which we often do when we're sucking in, creates tension in our shoulders, our neck, and creates patterns of more hyperactivity or hypertonicity in our pelvic floor. Tightening all the time is like trying to hold a plank while you're also trying to cook dinner. This is no bueno. Here is a better way. Release your pelvic floor. Take some time with deep inhales and let go of that constant tension. Focus instead on engaging your core when it counts, while you are lifting up your child, when you are putting something down on the floor or picking it up, and let your body rest and relax the rest of the time. It's like giving your body a vacation from that tighten up drill sergeant in your head. Myth number 3, planks are a must-do core exercise postpartum. Here's the reality. Look, I love a good plank just as much as the next girl, but doing planks too early in your postpartum recovery might just be setting your pelvic floor up for failure. It's all about pressure regulation, and if you are not there yet, meaning you don't have the capacity to pull your belly button up and in and hold that tension, going to a full plank is too fast too soon, and your body will learn compensation methods that can carry over into many other activities, causing a hyperactive pelvic floor, and compensations that allow you to quote unquote feel like your core is strong, but really it's just other supporting muscles that have done the work instead. So start with modified core work. Think side lying breathing, like supported bird dogs or other gentle moves that don't make your pelvic floor feel like it's being squeezed like a toothpaste tube. Now, myth number 4. If you have core or pelvic floor issues, avoid all exercise. And I get this one because I think a lot of us feel nervous about making it worse, right? But if I had $1 for every time someone told a new mom to rest and avoid exercise because of pelvic floor symptoms, well, I could probably buy a mansion by now. But here's the thing. Movement, done the correct way, helps you to recover faster. Move gently, but move. No one said you have to sprint a marathon after childbirth, but gentle movement, whether it's walking, mobility exercises, or even breath-based core work, helps to rebuild strength and restore pelvic floor function. And speaking of gentle movement, I want to help you get started. You can download my free 3-day core restore guide. It is super low pressure. It's very basic, very easy, but it works. It helps you to focus on actually how to breathe, how to contract your deep core muscles, and build awareness with simple core activation exercises. No gimmicks, no quick fixes, just a safe and steady approach to feeling stronger and more balanced. You can download it now by going to www.truestrengthcollective.com/3-day core restore. That is the letter or that is the number 3, not the word 3, or you can just click the link in the show notes. Now, I want you to imagine that you have done the work. I want you to imagine that you have taken the time to learn how to breathe. You've taken the time to go through the 3-day core restore, and you're feeling stronger, not by crunching your way to a flat stomach, but by honoring your body's own recovery. I want you to picture yourself moving without pain. I want you to picture yourself finding peace in the process and feeling confident because of the way you care for your body, not because it fits some outdated standard of what it looks like to quote unquote bounce back. Postpartum recovery doesn't mean rushing to get your body back. It means rediscovering a version of yourself that feels whole, strong, and empowered. And that strength, it is not about perfection. It is about progress. I love this verse from Isaiah 40, verse 11. It says, "He tends his flock like a shepherd. He gathers the lambs in his arms and carries them close to his heart. He gently leads those that have young." God gently leads us, even when we feel weak, even when we feel uncertain or overwhelmed by our recovery. God's pace is slow and steady. He cares for us with compassion, and we can learn to lead ourselves in the same way, gently, patiently, and without shame. A Japanese theologian, Kagawa Tokuhoyo, once said, "The pace of walking with God is slow because God is walking with us, not ahead of us. Just like God's walk with us, our journey of recovery is not rushed. It's gentle, it's intentional, and done at a pace that's best for us, honoring where we are and trusting that slow progress is still progress. Before we wrap up, I want to invite you to book a free discovery call with me for True Strength Builder. This is your chance to talk about your goals, your struggles, and how we can customize your journey to recovery, stress-free and simple. We'll chat about what's been working in your fitness, what hasn't, and how we can move forward with clear, simple steps that respect your body's needs. And if you decide that you want support inside True Strength Builder, we'll talk about it. And if not, you'll still leave feeling supported with practical tools in hand. So, what do you say? Book your call today and take the next step forward feeling stronger, more grounded, and more confident in your postpartum body. Until next time, friends, stay strong. All the love, Coach Laura.